Okay guys, welcome along. I'm CrazyBlocks and this is a tutorial for the map making kit for Flood Escape 2. Now if you're unaware, I've been working on Flood Escape 2 for a while now and I'm just about opening the map making kit for the community to use and publish maps with. So let me show you how it works. This is the kit that you'll be supplied with. It comes with all the basics, so let's start with the buttons. These are all buttons. This is button 1, button 2, button 3. Buttons have to be completed in a set order. As you've noticed, this is yellow and can't be activated unless this first one does get pushed. Now I've got some blocks here which react to the buttons. So the first one makes a red block appear, which is pretty cool. The second one makes this green one disappear. Notice how it automatically changes, which is nice. And the third one makes this blue block fall. Now these are all the behaviours that the buttons can accomplish in making a map for Flood Escape 2. Notice how the block disappeared, so you don't have to worry about debris. Now let's move on to the water. It's pretty simple, it's just a massive block of Cancellide False, which is emulating actual water. But yeah, notice how the air drains, and then it regens shortly after you're out. So this is an air tank. Hit it, you get extra 300 air units. And notice how the water's turned green. This is acid. This increases the air drain rate like nearly, I think it's 8-fold. I'll share the specifics in an annotation, but notice how the air is going very quickly and I just died. Yeah, this tutorial is really kicking my ass. Let's try that again. What happened there was that the water turned into lava, well, the acid rather. So let's talk about some other things while we wait for the map to do its thing. So you might have noticed how the water was peeking through the red part of the map. All these red blocks are actually part of a model inside the map called Intro. What actually happens is all the parts of Intro get shifted down and then slowly move up to emulate the lift moving down. The reason I've done this and not just made the lift move down on itself is because of network issues like just latency, and characters would hover over the lift on other people's screens and I didn't really want that to show. It just kind of felt unpolished. Anyway, let's get this through. Get this through with. Get over here, get the oxygen tank. Alright, but yeah, notice how once you touch it, it does become unusable again. Now, it doesn't affect other people picking up the oxygen tank, I should add. Everybody can pick their own up, so it's not a free-for-all as to who can get the air tank first. And once that switches to acid, let's point out the exit block and region. This is the exit region, the green one. If the player touches it, they survive and water doesn't affect their air draining at all, so you can put that underwater and players will just wait until the next map. The red is the exit block. That'll become Cancellide true once they hit the exit region, so that they can't so that they can't exit. Now this is a lava, like I've shown, it automatically kills you, so let's move on from that. And just like that, that's a map completed. So let's head out of here and show the map kit itself. It's pretty simple. I've only included the things required to make a pretty nice map. So here you notice I've got in here I've got a settings folder. This is what the game will use to specify certain things such as the background music, the map name itself, and the difficulty. There's going to be 4 difficulties in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4. They respectively represent easy, medium, hard, and insane. I'm probably going to be the ultimate judge of what the difficulty is going to be, but you can aim towards a certain difficulty, and if you want to know, just let me know and just put it in the value here. But yeah, BGM, that's literally just the sound asset ID, the game handles pulling the sound from online, and then the value for map name, or its map making kit. So that's pretty much it. And we also have settings for lighting as well. I'm pretty sure it supports every property of lighting that can be modified, so things to ambient, to brightness, color shift bottom, top. All you need to do is add the most appropriate value, so say color free value, number value, color freeze, boolean for global shadows. But I don't think I'm going to allow global shadows and outlines to be enabled. Time of day will be able to be modified, as well as fog color, end and start. So we got different values in here as well. So if I want to switch this to, midnight, I could totally do that if I wanted to, and it would show up in the game. But yeah, let me show you the further intricacies of this. So let's go to the buttons and show how they work. So notice how this was button 1, button 2, button 3. They all have their own names and interactive elements in the game. I've preferred to keep them with an underscore at the beginning to make them more identifiable, and well, it's how the script picks it up as well. So button 1, it's pretty simple. Here's a tip: don't alter what's inside the buttons. I've specified this in the written instructions as well. If they are altered, I will have to mention it and the map will need to be fixed by you. So button 1, you can see there's no script around here to do anything. That's because there's a higher up map script doing all the work. So there was a part here that appeared. Let's go to that. It's underscore appear 1. Now the number is what allows it to link instantly to this button, and then underscore appear is what demonstrates the behavior of the part. So it's pretty simple. You could make as many underscore appear 1 parts as you like, and they would all appear thanks to the marvel of this singular button. It is advised that you should make the appear blocks fully transparent and can collide false when making it, so that they don't already appear beforehand and aren't already in fact before the button is pressed. Now, button 2. This is pretty simple again, underscore button 2. So this is the second button. This is underscore fade. Now what that does is it destroys any blocks that exist in, this name along with the number that's associated with the button. So that's pretty cool. So this button destroys that part. Pretty nice. And then button 3. So this button here, this is the last of the bunch, and it triggers any items with underscore appear, underscore fade, or underscore fall free. Now number 3, it's linked to that one, but what fall does, once it's triggered, it sets a anchored property of the block to false, so it falls and it breaks the joints as well, so it doesn't keep anything, it doesn't get stuck on anything, so that's just a bit, pardon me, peace of mind. Now it does fall, and then it takes about 5 seconds for the game to clean up all the debris afterwards, so you don't have to worry about things getting clogged or anything, so players don't get blocked by these fallen blocks. So that is the gist of buttons. It's actually, I've tried to make it as easy as possible really. So yeah, let's go to the water. This is just one massive block. You might not have noticed that it was one massive block, but rather a plane during gameplay. This is because the game actually handles it, adds a block mesh and just makes the top layer visible both on the upper side and the lower side. What I recommend when working with water is making the top surface a hinge during development, so that you can easily tell if it's upright or not, because it will have some pretty odd errors showing, like for instance you won't know when the water's coming up. Say you turn the water upside down and the only visible indicator of the water will be this bottom surface here, so when the water rises you won't even know that it's showing up. So just a heads up as well for that. In Floodescape 2, with maps towards the end, you'll want the entire map to be flooded so that people will end up, drowning. Pardon me. Now, maps are only supposed to take about 1 minute 40 maximum, because 2 minutes is when the timeout is for Floodescape 2. The aim of the game is to just keep it as fast as possible. We don't want as many people waiting around in the lifts. So yeah, you'll notice when the water gets lifted up to the top, it covers every part of the map. There's no air pockets anywhere for the player to breathe or anything. They can't stand anywhere, so they will eventually run out of air and die. Or whereas in this map making kit, they would have died because of lava anyway, with the water being switched to lava. So yeah, exit region, exit block has to be airtight. That becomes can collide true when players enter exit region. I think I've already mentioned that. So let's move on to the event script. Now this is what will allow you, the map maker, to allow for all these different functions with water, changing the water state and moving it relative to its own position. So let's show it here. It's a pretty simple script. I'll be honest. Let's blow that up a little bit. So in order for the script to be able to make any use of moving this water around and changing the states, we need to require a script from the ServerScript service, MapScript. Now if you just keep this line in here, you'll be fine, and you'll be able to use these functions. So what I'm allowing is waiting and these set functions from MapScript itself. If you do have any unique behavior included in the event script, do let me know, and I'll look into it as to if we can keep it or not. I'll be kind of strict on that, but if it's something which definitely adds to the map, I'll be more than happy to keep it, because, you know, attention to detail is nice. So let me show you these functions. Wait 60, that's pretty simple, but for the non-scripter, typing this line, wait, that is what allows the script to yield until the set amount of seconds put in between the brackets is set. So if I put wait 30 seconds. Pretty simple stuff. Now, MapScript, set water state. This is the function that will allow you to change the specified water into specified water state. So let's go through this and type a state out. So MapScript, set water state. You have to put MapScript here because this is how it gets to the function. So the first argument, which is this area here before the comma, will be the object, the water. So it'll obviously be script parent underscore water 1, which is what is listed as in the map. And then there are 3 options we can set as to the water inside this game, in the map. There is water. It basically, if you have any acid or lava pre-existing in the map, you can switch back to water and it'll become the standard water, which has the normal drain rate. So yeah, you can switch it to that. And then acid, it will switch it to the green looking water, which has the acid water state, which has a higher air drain rate. Pretty useful for keeping players on their toes, or you want to get them out of the water pretty soon, and you know, just kind of rush them out. And then lava is the ultimate destroyer, because if you switch it to lava, if the player's head goes underwater, they instantly drown. There's no ifs, no buts. So if you want a map which doesn't allow for them to swim in any case, even with an oxygen tank, then lava is the way to go for that. So yeah, I hope that worked. So it has to be typed as water, acid, or even you could type it in all caps if you wanted. The script isn't really cap sensitive, but it has to be water, acid, or lava. Okay, so in between here, I should note that these scripts don't yield. So as soon as this line is run, it instantly moves to the next as well. So let me just, yeah. Let me just go through this here. Wait 15, set water state. I got distracted by my headphones, sorry. And, okay. Yeah, it doesn't yield. So, we'll go to MapScript to move water. This doesn't yield either. Let me show what that does. Basically, it's the same thing for specifying what water objects you want to move. So in this case, it'll be the water again. The second will be a vector free. You can move this however you want. Vector free, so X, Y, Z, it'll be going up by 30 studs. Make sure when you're doing this function that you don't leave any air pockets for it, which people can just stand around and breathe in. That will be an area I'm looking in towards, and if that does get, you know, if that hasn't had attention paid to, then I'll have to let you know. So yeah, that doesn't really, you got to keep an eye out for that. And then this argument here is the duration for how long it will take to complete this full translation. So in this case it'll be 10 seconds. And then there will be another argument as well, which you can include. This one here will be specifying if you're using the water's local space or the game's world space. So what I mean by that is, say, let's show an example here. So the way it is right now, this is the object space, but it's also oriented in the way that the world space is as well. Now if I wanted to rotate it like so, you'll notice that the arrows are pointing differently than if they were in the world. So this is the world, this is the local space. Local space, you can drag it along like that. It's pretty useful for, say, if you've got diagonal water. Pretty nice. So where are we at? Yeah, so if you want to specify to use the local space, just add another one and set it to true here after the duration for the move water. Okay, so I think we've nearly covered everything in the tutorial. I think there's one more thing I got to show as the intro. I do want to note that with the intro, with the lifts, you have to give 40 studs of headroom above the spawn, as it will be starting, the spawn in the game will kind of be starting up above here, and we'll want space for the players as well. So we'll just put that back there. And with the intro, if you are here's another tip, you don't have to make the intro, but it is preferred. If it's too overcomplicated for you, it's just a nice effect. But for all areas that the player can see from the spawn, it has to be set to the intro. So you may have noticed that when we started the map, the water was going through this red section here. That's no worries, we can put that straight into the intro model here, and all that takes is a bit of the altering of the script itself. Since it's changed, we'll just put that there, and it's working straight away. So yeah, that's that. And I did have a extra part here to use. As I've mentioned before, all bits visible from the start of the map have to be included in the intro model if you have decided to include one. So let's say I'll just put that there so players can jump over. So as you can see, they can't see the rest of the map. So let's set this to transparency 1, and we'll get the maps. We'll show this in action now. Let's save that and give it a test run. We'll show it now. 5 seconds to get into the game. Let's see. And you will notice that we can't see anything from the rest of the map. Now that's how I like it, that's how I want it if you're doing intro, so do keep that in mind. And buttons, of course, keep their behaviors in mind. It's very crucial you know how to name them and link them all together. Water as well, with setting the states and moving them. Air tank as well, has to be named air tank. And yeah, that's pretty much all the info you need to know for when it comes to making a map for Floodescape 2. Now of course, if you do have any questions, I will be reading comments on the video itself, so if you'd like to post a comment, by all means do so. I respond on Twitter as well, Discord if you've got me on there. But yeah, that's how it's going to be done. I'll be putting this online. There'll be a link in the description for you to take and edit to your own liking, and if any part of this did confuse you, there are some written instructions as well for your own viewing, and so that is how it works. Anyway guys, thank you very much for tuning in for a nearly 20-minute long video. I hope it covered everything you needed. Yet again, any questions, post comments, and I will see you hopefully shortly with a map. Thanks guys.